Welcome to Lesson 6 of the Basic Angel Magic course. Let's talk about the angelic hierarchies. All of nature is hierarchical. There's a food chain. There are different natural kingdoms, animal, vegetable, mineral. While it is true that many man-made hierarchies can be quite corrupt, natural hierarchies are divine and are necessary for the life force to manifest itself and sustain life. Just like there are hierarchies in nature, it has been posited by the ancient mysteries that there is a spiritual hierarchy as well. This idea is reflected in the concept of different kingdoms or, quote, choirs of angels. The first hierarchy of angels is, starting off at the top, the seraphim. This choir of angels is known as the burning ones. It surrounds the throne of God, also known as the Supreme One, the All That Is, or the Godhead. These are the regulators of the movement of the celestial world. The seraphim have purifying and enlightening powers and inhabit the first cause or prime cause of the universe. They are said to know and understand the pure and initial intentions of the All, which seeks to know itself through the outpouring of all that is. They are traditionally pictured as holy angels with 6 wings who are constantly singing God's praises. The next is the cherubim. This choir are known as the counselors of heaven and the guardians of the sacred light. Their primary power is that of knowing. They inhabit the sphere of the fixed stars, in which is the holy and ancient wisdom found by all sincere seekers of the truth. The cherubim are traditionally pictured as having 4 faces and 4 wings. The faces of the cherubim are the lion, the bull, the face of the perfected human, and the eagle. They are also known in angelic tradition and in many traditional witchcraft circles as the Watchers. Next are the thrones. This choir are known as the elders and the companions of all the planets. They are the representation of all divine majesty and are the divine priesthood of heaven. They inhabit the fiery wheels of the throne of God. The thrones are sometimes depicted as wheels with the many eyes of all-seeing wisdom. They are also seen as angelic figures holding flowers and or the scales of justice. The thrones are the representation of the strong and mighty divine will. Then the second hierarchy of angels starts with the dominions. This choir, also known as the lordships, assist in the integration of the material and spiritual worlds. They are often depicted as wearing crowns and holding an orb and scepter, an equal-armed cross, or a sword as symbols of the balanced force back of all creation. The dominions are representatives of the superiority of wisdom over intellect and govern the elements of nature. They regulate the duties of the lower hierarchies of angels. Next come the virtues. This choir assimilates the divine will enveloping Mother Earth. They are associated with all heroism and miracles performed on the earth. The virtues are also responsible for all signs and omens on the earth. They can carry a sword or scepter and shield as symbols of courage, and they are known as the Shining Ones. Next come the powers. This choir, known also as the authorities, carry flaming swords to protect all of humanity while helping to anchor the divine plan for Mother Earth. They bring a vision of unity with all creation to humanity. They are able to prevent any forces from thwarting the divine plan and thus protect and guide all lost souls. These are warrior angels who protect the divine will at all times. Next come the third hierarchy of angels. Starting with the principalities, this choir are the guardians of large groups such as cities and nations and large civil and religious movements on earth. They monitor the destiny of the karma of nations and large societies. Next come the archangels. This choir are the bringers of light, love, and leadership to humanity. Despite their position in the hierarchy, archangels are chief angels who attend the throne of God and reveal God's presence to humanity. Then come the angels. These are the angels most commonly seen and interacted with by humans. People who are not in conscious contact with angels may have divine intervention. People who are not in conscious contact with the angels may have divine interventions by angels rather than archangels. Some of the teaching angels are considered angels versus archangels, but these distinctions tend to be somewhat arbitrary. The 8 teaching angels, although they may belong to different choirs, work together for the benefit of humanity. As such, they are often known as archangels, regardless of the actual choirs to which they officially belong. Then there are the angels of nature, starting with the devas. These are the angels who oversee Mother Earth's ecosystem and are responsible for the highly complex balance necessary for sustaining life on our planet. The devas are traditionally ruled by Ariel, who is responsible for revealing the manifestation of the divine will through all of nature. Ariel is the ruler of all nature spirituality, including shamanism, druidry, witchcraft, neo-paganism, etc. The devas who serve Mother Earth under the direction of Ariel give nature its life force. Wherever natural beauty is most evident, there is a large concentration of devic presence. Next are the elementals. The devas oversee the activities of the elementals. In the Western magical tradition, these elemental beings are known as sylphs for the air, undines for water, salamanders for fire, and gnomes for earth. The elementals are beings of pure spirit and the pure elements out of which they are composed. Elementals are considered the simplest life forms in all of the angelic hierarchies. Nature spirits. The pure nature spirits work with the vegetable kingdom. They also serve under the angel Ariel. Every single type of plant in all of the vegetable kingdom has its own spirit which rules it. Nature spirits can appear as whirling vortices of energy, often green in color. Sick plants can be helped by directing attention to its attending nature spirit. The rainbow angels. These are devas who work within the color spectrum. Always call on these devas through the angel Ariel, by being certain that you are working during a week in which you have invoked Shekinah. It is very simple to call on the rainbow angels. The squares included in this lesson are best made on a Friday, but any day during the waxing moon when the Shekinah has been invoked is fine. The red angels, for new beginnings, for empowerment and courage, for stimulating and for generating ideas, for healing sexual problems and for positive sexuality to be expressed, for action, for healing, and for opening the energy center at the base of the spine. Orange angels, for new horizons, for changes of all kinds, for losing or gaining weight or any other change in physical appearance, for personal charisma, for helping with addictions, for healing and opening of the energy center between the base of the spine and the navel. Yellow angels, for health and strength, for power and mental clarity, for study and new ideas, for mental stimulation and inspiration, for creativity, for healing and opening the energy center, around the navel. Green angels, for all harmony and balance, for connecting with nature, for all issues pertaining to the environment, for beautifying your own environment, for acceptance and forgiveness, for prosperity, for healing and opening the energy center around the heart. The blue angels, for psychic recharging, for healing of all physical and emotional ailments, for sensitivity, for calmness and forgiveness, for quelling all rage and anger. Let's do that again. For quelling all rage and anger, for healthy control of emotions, for understanding, for clear communication, for healing and opening the energy center around the throat. Indigo angels, dark blue and dark purple work well for these squares, for opening the third eye, for all discernment, discrimination, psychic gifts, clairvoyance, problems with eyesight, or a clear view of any situation that seems confusing, for healing and opening the energy center around the brow. Violet angels, for all spiritual gifts and spiritual achievements, for total healing of the self, for releasing the past, for becoming one with your higher purpose, for allowing the divine will to manifest in any situation, for finding balance of body, mind, emotions, and spirit, for clearing all negativity, for all spiritual gifts, for healing and opening the energy center at the crown of the head. To call on the rainbow angels, simply draw the square and color in the center diagonal row from the top to the bottom with the appropriate color ink, pencil, crayon, etc. When you write your petition on the reverse side in the river script and sign your name in Theban script. Call verbally on the angel Ariel and ask that the rainbow angels work on your behalf. Burn Venus incense or use Venus perfumes if possible. You light a candle in the same basic color as the rainbow angels you are working with and place it on top of your petition, your square. Allow the candle to burn down and out all by itself. It is always appropriate to extinguish any candle if you can't be present and just light it again later, even if it takes several days for the candle to burn down and out. The rainbow angels work on the level of the visible spectrum of light. It is common for you to have visions and omens surrounding the color with which you are working. This is always a good sign. Working with the rainbow angels is an excellent way to augment work you are doing with other angels, as well as being effective in magic all on its own. Example rainbow angel squares are included in your lesson. The fairies, or She. According to the angelic tradition, at the dawn of creation, the archangels and angels created patterns or archetypes of all life forms on the earth that was to evolve. These included plants, insects, birds, fish, animals, and many forms of animals whose archetypes are still alive, even though the actual life form may have been abandoned, such as unicorn, fire-breathing dragon, whose archetypes are still quite alive in non-physical planes. According to lore, the great throne angel Ariel imbued these archetypes with magical power, which flowed down the tree of life in order that each life form was imbued with life force, and its evolution on earth began. The fairies were the creations of Ariel according to legend. Ariel is personified as Oberon and or Titania. Ariel is personified as Oberon and or Tatiana, queen and or king of the fairies. During what is known as the Fall, the fairies were caught between worlds and were said to live in a plane known as the Middle Kingdom. The She, the fairies, the good folk, the shining ones, etc., are said to live in a realm between that of the angels and of man. They have very light and easily changeable bodies and forms. Some fairies are said to be quite kind and helpful to humans, while others can be extremely suspicious and antagonistic toward humankind. Fairyland is said to be a place of great beauty and light. The inhabitants of this realm have extremely long lives compared to human beings. It is both part of the astral plane and also part of the earth plane. Entrances to the realms of the fairy are said to be only in natural settings and often on what are known as, in modern times, as ley lines, where the magnetic currents of Mother Earth are the strongest. Whereas the teaching angels have the purpose of guiding and helping humanity, the fairies belong to an entirely different order of creation, somewhat parallel to our own. While they sometimes can exist in our reality, they are usually only seen by those with well-developed clairvoyant vision. Although it is sometimes possible to cross over into fairyland, it can be quite dangerous to do so. Few who find their way in are able to find their way out, and if they do, it is often at the expense of many years lost in the human realm, as time travels very differently in the two worlds. Fairies are rarely the sanitized Tinkerbell variety. They are a race of beings quite alien to our own. They interact with humans on their own terms, not on ours. While they have been known to be quite helpful and generous at times, they can just as easily be cruel and destructive on a whim. As magical beings, they are quite powerful. The Fae are very complex beings who are considered part of an ancient race of angels who came to Earth and who live in the space between the physical and the astral. They tend not to dwell in cities. They are neither good nor evil. But as many don't care for humans and consider the human race as being the enemies of the earth, they can be very destructive forces when approached incorrectly. The Shi live in an alternative sense of time and space to our own and have been known to lure humans into their realms where they are lost forever, either physically, psychically, or mentally. Remember that they are not evil at all, but they can be without morals as we understand morals. Some are quite lovely and kind, while others are extremely dangerous. The safest way to have any interaction with these beings is through the angel Anael. While this course does not include any fairy magic, although later ones probably will, be very careful when working with any so-called fairy magic when you come across it in popular culture. The fairies at best have a laugh at our expense, and at worst can be very jealous of their own realm and have no qualms about cursing or destroying those who dabble in their domain. We've included some other angelic talismans in this lesson as well, and these talisman rituals are intended to be performed only if the Shekinah has been invoked on that previous Friday. Unless specifically stated, the paper on which these talismans are drawn should be square in shape. There's a talisman for mental goals, which is sacred to Raphael, and this square is very helpful when any mental task must be undertaken. Tests, inspiration, writing of books, etc. Once it has been prepared, you may sleep with it in your pillowcase. It may also be carried and or worn during tests or other times that mental acuity must be great. It should be drawn with black ink on yellow paper, or you can use it on white paper with yellow ink as well. Write your petition on the back in either the Rivers or the Theban script. No candles or ritual other than the drawing of the square is necessary. Included is also a talisman for home furnishings, which is under the auspices of Gabriel. This ritual can be used to bring any new furnishings, appliances, etc. It should be done on the night of a new moon, as it is sacred to Gabriel. It may also be used if money for rent or mortgage is needed. Anything related to bringing a blessing to the home would be appropriate. This is a lunar talisman, and as such, it should be drawn on white paper using blue, silver, or gray ink or pencil. The talisman itself is not square, though. This talisman is oblong, and the paper on which it is drawn should be square. On the night of the new moon, light a single white candle and some lunar incense or use some lunar perfume. Draw the grid of the square first. Remember, it's an oblong square on a square sheet of paper, and then fill the symbols into the grid starting at the top, working from the left to the right, filling each line until you reach the bottom. On the reverse side of the talisman, draw the invoking sign of the moon, the trident, as shown, on the left, the name Gabriel in Rivers script, and then the other invoking sign on the right. Underneath these signs, write in Theban script that which you need. Place the talisman under the candle and allow it to burn down and out. Leave the talisman somewhere in the same room in which it was drawn until the following new moon. If necessary, repeat the ritual each new moon until your goal is reached. We've also included a special talisman for an increase in money, which is governed by Sakiel. On a Thursday, during the waxing moon, light a purple candle and some Jupiter incense or use Jupiter perfume. On a piece of white or light purple paper, draw in dark blue or purple the square provided. Draw the top horizontal line, left to right, and then the bottom horizontal line from right to left, ending with the right vertical line top to bottom. Wrap the paper around a coin. If you can find a gold or silver coin, so much the better, and place it in your wallet where you keep your money. Repeat this ritual each Thursday until your financial goal has been reached. Be sure to destroy the previous week's talisman and replace it with a new one. You may reuse the same coin, however. Make sure that you have started this ritual during the waxing moon, but you can continue it even through the waning moon if you haven't gotten your goal yet. All right, also included in this lesson is the great protective square of Lumiel. This protects the soul from fear and disempowerment, the mind from damage, the body from harm and ill health. This talisman should be constructed on the day of either your sun or moon angel during the waxing moon. You may draw a large square for your home and a smaller one for you to carry. Make the square on sturdy cardstock and even consider laminating it as well to keep it protected. The cardstock may be either white or yellow in color. On the reverse side of the talisman, write your name in river script. No ritual is necessary. The grid is drawn in red. The letters are drawn in green. The symbol for the part of fortune in purple. The symbol of the heart in red. The star of glory in silver. The Jed of Osiris is drawn in gold, and the Eye of Heaven is drawn in blue. And we have a specific separate video that shows how to make this. The teaching angels as aspects of the divine. Each of the teaching angels represents a different quality of the divine creator or Godhead. Anytime you find yourself in need of help, you may call out either aloud or silently to the angel who rules the current day in which you happen to find yourself, and align your mind completely with that particular aspect of the divine for which they are responsible. This is capable of giving immediate relief to any problem. There is no problem too great to be solved. The method is as follows. 1. Call on the angel of the day, either silently or aloud by repeating their name 3 times. 2. State your problem. 3. Ask that the aspect of the divine which they rule completely replace the problem. 4. Take time to consider the aspect of the divine from as many angles as you possibly can. 5. Completely turn your attention away from the problem and focus only on the aspect of the divine. 6. After you have completed this exercise for several minutes, do your best to completely keep your attention away from the problem. Just drop it altogether. 7. Ask the angel to help you as many times as necessary during the day if you notice that you begin to get worried, upset, or starting to ruminate on your problem. 8. The more you can move your conscious away from that of the problem and onto the aspect ruled by the angel of the day, the more quickly and completely you will be delivered from your problem. Remember, the more completely you can turn your attention away from the problem and focus instead on the complete and total realization of the aspect of the divine ruled by the angel of the day, the more quickly you will be delivered safely from your problem. It matters not how big the perceived problem is. The rules are the same. Call on the angel, state the name of the problem, ask that the divine aspect replace the problem completely, turn your attention away from the problem completely and on the aspect of the divine. So for Sunday, Mikael, the aspect of the divine, is life. When asking Mikael to deliver you from your problem, you must study each and every aspect of divine life you can think of. Imagine your heartbeat, your bloodstream, the motion of the planets around the sun. Consider how embryos become babies in the amazing circle of life. Immerse yourself completely in the energy of life. Life goes on no matter what. Life is an aspect of the divine. Allow life to completely replace your problem. Monday, Gabriel, the aspect of the divine is soul. When asking Gabriel to deliver you from your problem, you must study each and every aspect of divine soul you can think of. Consider the miracle of how your own soul brought you into this incarnation at this time and place in order to learn very specific and wonderful lessons. Give thanks and blessings to each and every aspect of the divine curriculum your soul created. Consider the concept of the world soul and how you relate to it. Consider the soul of the planet and all its inhabitants, and wonder at the miracle of how each of us were brought together to teach and learn with one another. Immerse yourself completely in the energy of soul as an aspect of the divine and allow soul to completely replace your problem. Tuesday, Samael, the aspect of the divine is spirit. When asking Samael to deliver you from your problem, you must study each and every aspect of divine spirit you can think of. Meditate on the energy of divine will back of every living thing. Consider how small blades of grass can displace concrete due to the will of spirit. Think of how this physical universe is a reflection of spirit. Notice how at the very core of every single physical particle in the material universe, there are only waves of spirit, wearing the appearance of solid matter. Immerse yourself completely in the energy of spirit as an aspect of the divine and allow spirit to completely replace your problem. Wednesday, Raphael, the aspect of the divine is intelligence. When asking Raphael to deliver you from your problem, let's do that again. When asking Raphael to deliver you from your problem, you must study each and every aspect of divine intelligence that you can think of. Find yourself understanding that intelligence is infinite. Consider the genius of all creation. Notice how each and every part of your body is intelligence incarnate. There are so many mysteries of the human body that have not yet even been discovered. Consider the intricate design back of the solar system, ecosystems, electromagnetic energy, soil composition, etc. Recognize that your mind is one with infinite intelligence, as is every other mind. Immerse yourself completely in the energy of intelligence as an aspect of the divine and allow this to completely replace your problem. Thursday, Sakiel, the aspect of the divine is truth. When asking Sakiel to deliver you from your problem, you must study each and every aspect of divine truth you can think of. Notice that your problem itself is calling to you to remind you of some part of the divine truth that you have forgotten. Recall the idea of the truth of the immenseness of the entire universe. Remind yourself that you are a child of the universe and that your inheritance here is to be one with all that is. There is no problem too large that truth itself cannot easily solve. Allow yourself to be shown the truth of who you are at the core, which is light, which is love, which is innocence and greatness. Allow yourself to be shown the truth of everyone else as well, including any and all relationships which have been in disharmony. Immerse yourself completely in this energy of truth as an aspect of divine, and allow the truth to completely replace your problem. Friday, Ariel, the aspect of the divine is love. When asking Ariel to deliver you from your problem, you must study each and every aspect of the divine love that you can think of. Begin to love the divine more than you love your problem. Allow yourself to relax your body and to let the energy of divine love break up all tension, hatred, fear, and unforgiveness in you. Recognize that there is no problem that cannot be overcome instantly with divine love. Consider any place where you are lacking goodwill toward another and ask yourself if having resentment is worth keeping your problem. When you can completely forgive and have love flowing in your life, all problems must dissolve. Immerse yourself completely in the energy of love as an aspect of the divine and allow love to completely replace your problem. Saturday, Kasiel, the aspect of the divine is principle or law. When asking Kasiel to deliver you from your problem, you must study each and every aspect of divine law that you can think of. Notice that 2 + 2 always equals 4. It cannot be otherwise. This is pure law. Likewise, there is no problem that cannot be solved by studying the reality that divine principle is law. If your magic has not been working or your problems have not been solved, it is simply due to the fact that you have not been in alignment with divine law. Just like a teacher can correct a math problem for a student, so can they learn where there was an error in order to learn how to get the correct answer for themselves. So can Kasiel correct all of your mistakes regarding divine law. When you are willing to be in complete alignment with divine principle or law, everything in your life must work. Immerse yourself completely in the energy of principle or law as an aspect of the divine and allow principle to completely replace your problem. This ends Lesson 6 of the Basic Angel Magic course. And thus it ends that Basic Angel Magic course in its entirety. I'm so grateful that you have studied this course. There's so much to do. Give yourself at least 6 months on this entire course and look forward to the next Angel Magic course, which should be coming very, very soon. Much love. and many blessings.